Slavin, Slavin?
Slavin.
Slavin. Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Miami at the Exchange ETF Conference, and joining us for this segment, we have Ben Slavin. He's the Global Head of ETFs Asset Servicing at BNY Mellon. We're going to discuss the year ahead for ETFs for asset managers and asset owners. Ben, it is great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Good to see you again, Jill.
Let's get your views on mutual funds to ETF conversions. What should investors be aware of, and what might they need to do?
First of all, it's a trend that has really accelerated over the last couple months. On our platform, we've started with 0 ETF conversions on our book in the beginning of this past year. Now we have over 5 issuers with double-digit number of conversions. So it's a trend we expect to accelerate, and now there's over 65 billion in assets that have converted. But there are a lot of key items that shareholders need to be aware of, as well as asset managers as well. Really, it's about the need for shareholders to understand what they need to do when their mutual fund converts to an ETF. And a lot of that is providing certain information, specifically your brokerage account, to be able to move those shares. Asset managers also have many considerations that really are important to understand. Can this investment strategy that's currently a mutual fund fit into an ETF?
We just opened a market, apparently.
Yeah.
Are international and fixed income coming back into vogue?
We are seeing really a sea change in investor appetite for international equities and fixed income. If we were sitting here last year at this time, I don't even think it was on the radar of most investors, and certainly we saw a huge rally in the dollar. Now that circumstances have changed regarding investor sentiment on where the USD might go, and certainly we've seen some pullback there. Also, I think we're seeing increasing investor interest coming back into fixed income after last year's rout. The combination of those two have seen an uptick in flow really across not only fixed income but also equities, specifically in Europe, year to date here to start off 2023.
And BNY Mellon's a dominant player in the commodity ETF space. What can you tell us about flows there?
Look, commodities, again, it's another asset class that seems to be catching investor interest. I think our expectation is that gold, gold will continue to sort of be one place for investors potentially to hide in some volatile markets. But what's interesting is that, and one of the things about ETFs that sort of makes this asset class great is it's democratized other precious metals that have been difficult to reach. So it's not just a gold story, it's also about the other precious metals. So we see palladium, platinum, silver, and those types of products starting to not only attract interest, but also it's ways, tools that investors can use to play this market.
What about income-oriented products? There seems to be a lot of innovation in the fixed income space for ETFs.
Yeah, well, I mean, does income really ever go out of vogue? I feel like, for the last decade, I've been talking about products, and ETFs that, provide some kind of yield. So that has not gone away. What has changed here really in the last really couple months is it looks like, possibly value, right, versus growth has flipped. And you've seen investor interest and certainly performance swing in the direction of, tried and true dividend funds and other types of value strategies. Certainly, again, as I mentioned, we saw the rout in the bond market, and now we've seen some money, small amounts, but money start to come back into fixed income if you look at the flows, right? All around trying to get some additional yield in your portfolio, but the newest trend is also using options inside ETFs that provide effectively some extra income, and certainly in some cases with some give up in terms of the upside, but that yield has proven to be incredibly attractive to investors.
All right, Ben, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me from Miami. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.